So your functions remain valid for as long as the administration is valid. So they elapse when you go to another administration.
No, yes. My delegated authority lapsed the day after the president was sworn in as the president of the republic.
Okay. So when the new minister comes in, he must formulate another performance plan for you. Then for how long? After how long should that task be done? Let me just ask it this way. In the previous administration, after how long was it done?
Well, it was done fairly quicker. And the reason being that I was dealing with a police officer, in the sense that General Kelly was the national commissioner. And when I came in, he was a minister appointed in 2018 when President Ramaphosa became president in the 5th administration. So when the 6th administration came, General Kelly was reappointed as Minister of Police. So you had somebody who was fairly conversant with his responsibilities. And that explains why it was quick. With Minister Mkunu, he had to understand the complexities of the institution. Mind you, here you are talking of a department with 4 departments, basically 5 departments in one. Your police, your DPCI, your civilian secretariat for police, and IPID, and ultimately CIRA, and the entities like your DNA board, DPCI judge. Those are the instruments that belong to this one department. So it's not, you can't just walk in and suddenly know who must do what. You need to fully understand. When you delegate people what you understand yourself. Yeah.
So does it mean even the other DM, because we have 2 deputy ministers, right?
Yeah.
Does not have functions that are delegated to him?
Yes, noted yet.
So both of you?
Yeah.
Now, if you are to be honest with us or with South Africans, do we need deputy ministers? Do we need two deputy ministers in SAPS?
Absolutely.
Under the circumstances? Because you are, I think you are, how many months have you been in office?
So
have you spent in office?
A year.
A year. You have spent 12 months in office with no delegated functions, because that indirectly means that you add no value to the minister's work. If after 12 months he has not given any function to you through a performance agreement. So he's simply saying, you guys are not adding any value to my work. So there's no need for me to formulate any performance agreement or any performance plan that delegates functions to you. Because a performance plan is triggered by the practical need, by a practical need. They don't just take it from the atmosphere. When there is a need for you to do something, they write that need down and give you responsibilities to resolve those needs. Now, that has not happened for 12 months. Now, do 2 deputy ministers add any value under the current form?
Definitely they do, Honorable. It doesn't mean that delegations, because delegations have not done, therefore, the department can function without deputy ministers. It doesn't mean that. There is relevance to their creation. And as I said, that SAPS is not like other ministries. It's a huge department, a department that is complex in how it is structured. There you have 4 entities that are in themselves departments, and you need to preside over them. So yes, there is a need and a necessity. The delay, it's a delay that we have had, but that delay cannot explain why you can't have deputy ministers. It had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, DM, but I disagree. A delay for 12 months, not just an ordinary delay, for 12 months without any task given to you. In terms of, I know that now it's issue-based, but it's not in terms of the performance plan or in terms of the performance agreement. And that makes things to be difficult for you, because I know that, I know you as a politician. I know that you are an efficient person. So I'm sure that even the current circumstances, they are a frustration to you, because you end up sometimes not knowing what to do, because there's actually nothing that gives you a responsibility from a performance plan. And the delay is inexcusable. It was going to be excusable maybe if it was a delay of 1 month, 2 months. but you have spent 12 months in office without a performance agreement. And whereas you are two, we're not talking about one deputy minister, two deputy ministers.
No, look, there is no way that the delays that we have experienced, you can say on the basis of that you don't need deputy ministers. You can't. I believe the nature of the organization you are dealing with necessitates the need for that. And you must deal with the delays. And I think, like I said earlier on, Honorable, that if Minister Mkono, tomorrow we rise and we conclude and he must come to work on Thursday, I'm certain that delegations will be attended to. He's ready to do that.
So, DM, can a justification that says the reason why you were not consulted as deputy ministers is because there is no performance plan or agreement that was given to you. So actually a need to consult you did not arise because of that prevalent fact. Would you agree with that? Would that justification accord with logic?
I don't think it will be appropriate or correct to reach that conclusion on Honorable. You can't, on the basis of that letter, then conclude that that is the motivation why it was crafted the manner in which he did, because it's not. He himself have said before you that he was resting at home and he was thinking about the tasks at hand, and he decided to pen that letter, and nothing beyond that motivated him to do it the way he did. And I think he concedes as well that yes, he has written the letter, but also those who felt things should have been handled differently, they should have picked up a call. And I think one of the honorables here asked a question to say, while you expect a call, why didn't you call as well? Didn't you think it's wise for you to call? And I guess he considered that it's both ways. So it really had nothing to do with efficiency or non-efficiency of deputy ministers. It's a decision that was made, and I think with retrospect, it could have been made differently.
Okay. The minister, when he was here, he cited the Constitution as a source which gives him powers to do, which gave him powers to do what he did on the 31st of December. Mm. And he said the Constitution gives him a right to issue directives. Yeah. Now, my reaction to that is that there is a difference between a directive and an instruction. Mm. A directive must be given in terms of the constitutional order. If the Constitution gives me a right to open this bottle, mm-hmm, and it gives you a right to give me a direction, it doesn't mean that you can open this bottle on my behalf. Mm. It means you can say to me, Nomvalo, I think you must open this bottle. Mm. And then a directive is limited to that extent. Mm. A directive can't mean that you can take a decision on my behalf. Now, if I characterize what the minister did, I characterize it as an instruction. Mm. An instruction which went beyond a constitutional order. Mm. In my view, an ideal scenario would be a situation where the minister calls the National Commissioner and says, National Commissioner, in my view, there is absolutely no need for this PKTT at this moment. Yeah. It does not add any value anymore. It is wasteful expenditure. Mm. So in my view, the task team must be disbanded. Mm. So what the minister did, in my view, is that he did what was supposed to be done by the National Commissioner under the name of a directive. Mm. And that was a serious misunderstanding of his of his constitutional obligation on his part. Mm. Do you agree with me if I put that scenario?
Well, the letter was written in the manner in which it was crafted and sent to the National Commissioner. The interface that must happen between the executive authority and the counting officer, it's a dialectical interface between the two offices, as I tried to explain earlier on, that the executive authority need to interact with the accounting officer and vice versa. If the executive authority issues out a communique that the accounting officer feels is out of sync, there is a responsibility on the side of the accounting officer to say this is out of sync because of the following, and it can be done that way. And they should take it like that and proceed, because there is no other way that things can be done except that interface between the two. If you look at the earlier comment about a meeting that took, I think it's the meeting of the 5th, where the minister led a delegation to the portfolio committee. Effectively, the minister submitted to the portfolio committee that the PKTT is going to be dissolved, and is going to be, this process is going to be done in phases. There will be a transitional period. That is the presentation that served before the committee, presented by the minister. I'm saying presented by the minister because when we go and appear before the portfolio committee, we are led by the minister as the executive authority, and the national commissioner as the accounting officer. When we present through whoever is presenting, delegated by the minister and the national commissioner ultimately presenting, it is the minister presenting because it's his document, but it is presented through somebody who is in that space. But technically, it is the decision. It is the minister's decision to talk of that transitional approach. The national commissioner says, no, I agree to a phased-in approach. But the two of them appeared before a committee and presented an approach to how the PKTT process must be handled. So despite the fact that there is a directive that was issued, but they presented jointly to say this is how it's going to be done. And that was totally against what the directive was saying. I don't know whether I'm with.
Yeah, I'm following you, DM.
Yes.
So, in conclusion, you agree with my statement or with my narrative that the decision does not fall within the ambits of a directive entailed in the Constitution. In fact, that was not a directive, but it's a decision that was taken on behalf of the National Commissioner, and he was simply instructed to implement it as is. Did you agree with that narrative?
No, but what was implemented is different to what is written in the letter. I'm saying the interface between the accounting officer and the executive authority is a dialectical relationship. It's not a one-way that do this and what you say gets done the way you want it to be done. You say do this, and the administration come and do what you say they must do, but in the manner that it makes sense. That's why it became a phased-in approach as we presented.
I would slightly differ with you and say in the manner that is permissible.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, in the manner that is allowed by the law or by the Constitution.
We're saying the same thing. I agree with you.
Yeah, in this case, because if you say in the manner that makes sense, that can be subjective.
Of course.
Because what makes sense to me might not make sense to you. But there is a Constitution which gives guidance here on what a directive is and how the directive can be issued to the National Commissioner. Now, there is a proposition that you are making, which I agree with, but I just want you to broaden it a little bit by giving more substance to it. That of making documents electronically, I mean dockets, because the conclusion that I've drawn from what you are saying is that the current system is vulnerable. Documents can be stolen, and the content therein can be altered, unfairly so. Now, before I go to the question that I want to ask, there is an issue of documents, of dockets, which were taken from KZN to Pretoria.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
I was not aware of that until I was notified that something like that happened.
Oh, when were you notified?
I think it was I don't know of the exact date, but I can get that. I received an SMS from General Sibia that there are dockets that are being taken here to KZN, which were brought in here, and those dockets can't be touched because the commission, they must be given to the commission, something like that. That's when I realized there's something like this, which I raised the matter with the National Commissioner. And the National Commissioner said, no, he will make sure that nothing happens that jeopardizes the work of the commission.
Okay, so that was after the press briefing of the 6th?
Yeah.
Okay, but before they were taken to Pretoria, you were not aware?
No.
And before the press briefing on the 6th of July, you were not aware?
No.
Okay. Now, you are saying because you were also responsible for the backlogs under the administration of Minister Cele. You are saying this modernization that you are proposing can resolve all those challenges, including the issue of a backlog?
Yeah, yes, it can. Yes, it can, because the problems of the backlog were not necessarily a problem or a challenge of modernization. It was just inefficiencies in the administration of the laboratory, the things that they work with in the laboratory. For instance, the machines, they need to be maintained. There are contracts for chemicals that are used in the laboratories that were not in place. I mean, we visited the laboratory here in Cape Town with General Cele. We found machines that had stickers of out of order, just because they were not collaborated. You know, when you don't take your car to service, it malfunctions. So the machines must be in working order for them to give you results that are appropriate. So we developed a project with Deputy Minister Jeffries from Justice, so that from the justice side, they must prioritize cases that are serving before the leadership for one reason or the other. That must be processed to make sure that when that time comes for those cases, we are ready to process them, because there were cases that were thrown out of court because we were not ready with the results. So it was that which we were dealing with. The modernization that one was talking to is with regard to your case dockets that are manual, files, and they get stolen either in the hands of police or they are stolen in court. They disappear. So once the docket is stolen, you can't reconstruct. It's difficult to reconstruct. But if it's electronic, it's safe. If it gets stolen, you just go and download the file and make it ready for use in court. Yes, modernization can assist in a variety of ways, including policing, body cam cameras, the problems of the challenge around stolen guns. We lose guns in the police. If they steal your gun, you can't trace it. So if you mark them, because technology exists for that, it can help us a great deal.
Okay. No, I think DM, you can make submissions. I take that submission as a valid one. You can also make submissions to the Department of Justice. I think there is a bill that they are currently busy with. But on top of what you are saying, don't you think that enrolling matters which are not ready in court also contributes to a backlog problem? For instance, enrolling a matter whose investigation is not complete, a matter that goes to court for the IO just to say we are still investigating an alternative address. And that matter has been enrolled in the midst of many matters which are being heard in court. Don't you think that also makes a huge undesirable contribution?
I fully agree with you.
Okay, lastly, the chair has made an indication that I'm running out of time. Lastly, if you were a minister at the time when the PKTT was dissolved, and you had a view that the PKTT should be dissolved, what mechanism or what process were you going to follow to ensure that everybody is satisfied and to ensure that you have done everything correctly, you have followed the correct process?
When you are a minister, you are part of a team. And you must always work with your team if you want to be victorious. It's teams that win championships. If you don't have a team, you won't win a championship. I believe that should be the approach in any environment. Without that, you won't win. It's like now, if the chair can provide leadership and chair this committee, you will not end what you are supposed to do. And I think he has been chairing the committee in a manner that there is progress. I don't know which date this is, but you have been sitting and there is progress. You need a team person in any environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair.